Renz 510 Radio.
This is 510 Radio. We back again, episode 31. Today we talking about the Warriors. Dubnation, stand up. Let's get it in. Hey, the Warriors have been my favorite squad since the Run TMC days. Remember Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullin. But you know, the last 10 years can be looked at as the golden era. 4 championships and 6 NBA Finals appearances since 2015. I dropped a song and an album in 2019 titled Golden State Motivation. It was basically a salute to the Dubs and a motivational song that can drive me to strive for greatness every day in these Bay Area streets. You know what I'm saying? So just about a month ago, though, I started to doubt that this current Dub squad could even make the playoffs. And it seemed that the Dynasty is finally coming to an end unless a deal was going to be made. Now, I was pushing for Zion Williamson because of the long-term fit that I think he would have in the front court. He's still young, and he's dominant. It would either been him or for KD. Because with KD, you know exactly what he's going to bring to the table after helping us get 2 rings a few years ago. At the deadline, the rumor was that KD didn't want to come back to Golden State. And we can speculate why. Maybe he don't like Draymond. Maybe it's Steve Kerr's system. Or maybe he just don't like the Bay Area. None of that even matters now. But with Jimmy Butler, this dude might just be the perfect fit. It might be just the perfect timing for the Dubs to make another run and keep that dynasty going. Initially, I thought Wiggins for Butler wouldn't make that much of a difference, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Since the trade, the Warriors and the Heat have been going in opposite directions, with the Dubs moving up in the standings and the Heat sliding back as we move down the stretch towards the playoffs. From a scoring standpoint, they both average about 17 points per game. We're talking about Wiggins and Jimmy Butler. But the difference is in the basketball IQ, the physicality, the shot selection, and the aggressive dog mentality that seem to be lacking in Wiggins at times. He did have off-the-court issues that seem to be weighing on him from time to time, and he looked mentally out of it in some games. So let's take a look at this current Dubs team after we've seen 10-plus games with Butler. I think we have a chance to win it all if we do these 3 things. First things first, we got to get Jimmy Butler going early. He seems to get off to slow starts in some games, focusing more on passing up ISO mismatches that he could easily win at times. A little tentative out there to be aggressive and take over. He seems to pace himself, but for the non-Steph minutes, we need to see more aggressiveness. Going down by double digits in the second and third quarter puts too much stress on Steph late in the game, and that could lead to burnout down the stretch and in the playoffs. It's asking a lot for him to be the hero every night at 37 years old, especially in back-to-back games on the road. I do appreciate Butler's mentality. It's team first, high basketball IQ, low turnover ratio. He's a dog in the post on both sides of the ball. But when we need someone to step up and be dominant, when shots ain't falling for everyone, because there's times when everybody's cold. We need that second guy to step up, stand up, and be somebody that we can lean on. So Steph can sit on the bench and rest up and get ready for that Curry flurry in the fourth quarter. I understand when you go to a new team, you go to a new area, any new environment, you want to fit in, you want to make sure you're not doing too much. And it seems like, since he's got there, Draymond is taking more of a scoring role. Especially after the last few games that I watched, that last 3 he hit against Detroit, he's stepping up and it's bringing the dog out of him. But what we got to see is, I'm not saying he's got to be KD, because he's not going to be KD. There's only one KD. but we need a guy that say, here's the ball in the fourth quarter, do what you do. And I think down the line, he's going to get more comfortable, and we're going to see more of that going forward. Number 2, we need to start quitting posts. He's been a diamond in the rough find. Why it took so long to be activated from the G League, I'm not sure. When they clearly needed a big, they need better production out of that 5 spot. His weakness is on defense. Sometimes out in space, he looked like he can get took off the dribble, or he could be a little bit out of position, like he's on skates when he's backing up. He can get in the weight room, man, add some muscle and work on his post game, defensively and offensively in the off season. But for now, we need him out there to learn on the fly, learn on the run. He actually leads the team in 3-point shooting percentage right now, higher than Steph, which is crazy. But him being out there will give Steph more space. It's another threat on the perimeter. And he's done a few good things inside on pick and rolls, I noticed. And on D, he does provide a shot blocking presence since he's 7 feet tall. Anytime a point guard or a guard is driving in there, and there's a big in there, and he's active, he's contesting shots, then that's going to change shots. He's athletic enough to change shots and be a presence inside. So I think he needs to start going forward. He kind of has potential, and he's getting double figures easy in only like not even half the game. He's playing like 16 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes at the most. And he's coming out with 10 points, 15 points, even 20 points I've seen him get offensively. So he's a threat. Maybe he could turn out to be like a Dirk or a Porzingis, and that's high praise. That's saying a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, get him out there. We need him out there to space the floor, spread the floor. But also, they need to reintegrate Trayce Jackson-Davis back into the rotation. Honestly, I don't know what happened with him, but it seemed like he fell out of the rotation, fell out of favor, got into the doghouse or something with Kerr. I'm not sure. But he was productive too. He's athletic. He can be in the dunk spot, get rebounds, get alley-oops. So he needs to still be in the rotation. It's Looney, I think, that needs to kind of slowly fade away, to the bench, to be honest with you. He just looks a little out of shape, little just slow, unathletic now. He's just not as active as he was a few years back when he was getting all them rebounds in the playoffs. So if anybody got to start sitting down more, it's Looney. And that's just keeping it real. That's just Father Time is undefeated. That's just what happens. So start quitting post. He's the 5, and your backup is Jackson Davis. And I think that's the best situation for the front court going forward. Number 3, the third thing we need to do is get Kuminga healthy. Got to get him back up to speed, get him back out there. I don't know what's going on. Get him healthy, have him run the second unit. An ankle sprain should not take more than 2 to 3 weeks, man. He's now missed over 2 months. That's crazy. Something seems suspicious, and either they're lying about something, or maybe it's worse than we think. Maybe they're milking it for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's a contract thing. Maybe they're trying to lower his value so they ain't got to pay him when his contract come due. But something seems suspicious, man. And I've had sprains myself where I get back in 1 week, and that thing, it hurt. I ain't gonna lie, playing football and basketball, I've hurt my ankle, but never more than 2 to 3 weeks. Simply all you gotta do is ice it, rest, rehab with ankle resistant exercises he can do in the bed, calf raises and pool work, just strengthen that ankle. And he's milked this injury long enough, so he needs to be out there now, because otherwise he ain't gonna be able to be what he was earlier in the year, because he got to get in shape. He got to play, get them legs activated, get his endurance back. Got to get to the previous level that he was at for the playoffs. I hope he's been shooting, 500 shots a day, doing cardio, be in the weight room, and you gotta play, man. Get your timing right for the game, get your feel for the game, because it's gonna be off in the very beginning. So he should have enough time to play his way back into contention, in the condition, and be full steam come playoff time, I hope. All right, y'all. So we're taking Dubnation worldwide with my new pro basketball team overseas in the Teba League, Thailand. Yes, sir. We'll be kicking off our first season this fall, just putting it all together. So there's a lot of questions probably people may ask, but we just laying the foundation down. It's starting from scratch, brand new. Putting the building blocks together on this franchise in the Teba League, but still it's a great opportunity for prospects worldwide, everywhere, that want to keep the basketball career going and want to get exposure in Asia, where there are a lot of big time basketball being played, and you can make a living on, you can make a career and live well. The cost of living out there is low. The weather is real warm, tropical, and people are friendly. It's a great travel destination, great nightlife. If you are having trouble in your home country, all the issues that are in America, man, I don't even want, that's a whole nother episode, but it's a good way to get out, keep your career going, and explore the world, live life, continue to pursue your dream in basketball. So anybody interested in that, just continue to follow both pages. Follow the East Bay Kings on IG, and also the new IG for the Ratchaburi Warriors. Okay, it's the IG is actually at Thailand_Warriors. So like I said, we Dubnation worldwide from Oakland all the way to Thailand, baby. Warriors got fans everywhere, and that's what we rolling with, Ratchaburi Warriors. So yeah, it's gonna be a new experience for me. We'll keep you up to date with any team info on that Instagram. Speaking of basketball, the documentary I've been talking about here and there from my ABA team, From a Peasant to a King, is gonna drop this year for sure. It's done. I'm just looking at different distribution options, man. It's not as easy as I thought. I was out there for the last 4 years, playing, coaching, and filming. And now I'm getting into the editing, and it's done, man. But then there's a lot of issues that come up with distribution and different ways that they want it and all this and that, man. It's not that easy. But I'll be dropping that movie and a new album this year. A lot of big songs and more big features, and more just me trying to continue the career and keep things going, doing my passion, doing what I love to do, and hoping to help people and bring them along with me. So once again, y'all, I appreciate y'all supporting the East Bay Kings podcast, 510radio.com. Also my label, Field of Dreams Entertainment. Keep supporting black-owned businesses. There's not a lot of them out there, man. We got to keep supporting each other, and that way we'll be able to grow and see the fruition, see things come to fruition, see things happen that we want to happen. Because if we don't support, things is going to go away. Things are going to go away. Fans don't support, community don't support, businesses don't support, everybody hating on each other, hating on everything. I always think it's a scheme or a scam, and that's the wrong mentality. That's why there's no progress, why people don't get to the destination, y'all. So let's keep pushing this movement, keep striving for your goals, smashing for your dreams, and we're gonna get there one day, man. But yeah, you check out that the Warriors last couple weeks, man, it's been a month now since the trade, man. What do you think about Butler and his whole impact on the squad? If he's better than Wiggins?
Oh man. First off, I got to give some props to Dunleavy, the GM, for making the move. You know, there was a time when they both played on the Bulls together, and Jimmy Butler beat him out. You know, at the small forward position when he was playing for Chicago,
Mm.
and Dunleavy kind of had developed that respect for his approach and his game back then. And I'm not exactly sure when that was. Probably the mid to early 2000s, 2010s in that decade.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he went out and understood that the Warriors needed an element of toughness and somebody who was not going to be afraid to get his feet in the paint and demand some defenders to, you know, maybe put hands on him, if I could say it like that. But as far as Butler goes, he's going to play through it. And he's been getting to the line, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game, which has really made a difference for the Warriors. The Warriors are one of my sleeper picks in the West. Because when they get into the thick of it, I still think they can squeeze into a top 4 position as far as seeding goes. I think they're already caught to the 6th seed, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they was in the play-in, and then they worked their way up in the last few weeks. You know, LeBron just got hurt. I think I just seen it on TikTok.
Yeah, his strength is growing.
Yeah.
So the Warriors have an open window where they can continue to climb. I think they only lost 1 game with Butler starting.
Yeah.
They're like 9-1, man. You know, so it's been able to help them slow their tempo down, which ironically has helped them, especially Curry. Right, he's dropping almost 7 more points a game.
Mm.
You know, he went from 24, like 23 and change to 30 and change now. And it might even be almost a 31 after he hit that 50-point game and he followed up with another 40 piece.
Yeah.
So Curry is the beneficiary probably more than anybody because they're setting their defense after these free throws are made. And Curry's able to, you know, gather more of his breath. So when the offense comes, and now you have another ball handler.
Yeah.
So when Draymond is either not consistent, foul trouble, getting ejected, injured, whatever the excuse is, now you don't have to worry about it because Butler can handle the ball and run the offense.
Yeah.
So I think all those things being said, the Butler move was huge. And just the fact that what you see, like, honestly, I don't even know what Wiggins has been doing for Miami. You know, like, haven't seen him on a highlight. You know, you check the box score, he's not in double figures. And it was the same stuff that you would see out of him on the Warriors team.
Mm.
It's extremely inconsistent, regardless of how athletic that guy is. You can't really trust him to bring it every night.
Yeah.
And Butler, he's gonna defend and he's gonna get to the line for sure. Like those 2 things, you can depend on right now. So I think that's why the Warriors win.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with anything you just said. I just know that at first I was a little skeptical because Wiggins was actually having a good year, and then, you know, you just think back to 2022 when he did help win the championship.
Yes.
And then when I watched some of the games, sometimes he's I don't know, maybe it's just me being impatient, but, you know, because I'm hard to impress, you know, in the beginning for anything, man. I'm just like,
right.
It's taking so long to get into the group. Like, sometimes he just takes a while to get into the game. Like, he just, I'm talking about Butler. Like, he's not really aggressive in the beginning. He's just passing and facilitating and kind of screening and not. It seems like he's just trying to fit in. But, like, the longer the game goes on, especially towards the late in the third and in the fourth, he starts to just get into it, you know, and he starts, the points just start adding up, and all of a sudden he's at, you know, 20 points. I think he had 26 last night against Detroit. And
That's
they're
huge.
gonna need that down the stretch, man, because Steph he's gonna get cold at some point. And he's hot right now, but he might be wearing himself out now. But we need that. We need that type of play in the playoffs, man, especially in the second and the third round, and in the finals if they can get there. So we just hope he doesn't burn himself out, and we want to see a solid number 2 option. And I had thought initially it was going to be, they should have made a trade for Zion, or if not that, then maybe KD. But I'm happy with what they got. Well, I'm happy with Butler because the proof is in the results. They're like 10-1 since he came.
Well, I think he's missed one game, maybe, right? One game he's missed.
Yeah, I think he missed one.
So you mentioned KD and Zion. They're likely to miss more games, both of them. But in particular, Zion is enticing, obviously, because of the athleticism, because of the highlights, because of the ticket sales, because of his age. But what he's shown and put on display, it's just not worth the risk. I don't think it is, because he's had more time where he's not on the court than when he is. And if that's the case at his age, I just don't see him getting any better in that category. As you get older, you don't get healthier, Typically, I'd rather, if they would have got him, it would have been let's see. I don't know how excited I would have been about it. KD would have fit, obviously. It would have championships.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like KD. That's just me.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's too soft for the Bay Area. That's why he had to leave in the first place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think he likes the Bay Area. I don't think he likes Draymond, and he don't like authority.
There it is.
Yeah, he doesn't want someone to be above him because he's used to people just praising him all the time for his talent. But you still gotta be in the structure of a team with solid management and leadership and all that. And so I kind of see he don't want that. He want to be free, like he said, play free and not have no discipline. That's and that's why when he's on his own, they don't win. You know what I'm saying?
I see. Right. He hasn't even won a playoff series, Renz. I mean, think about that for a minute. Not even a playoff series, man.
Damn,
that one time
with Brooklyn or Phoenix, they didn't win a playoff series.
That one year with Brooklyn, when they lost to the Bucks, they had won that first round series. But I don't even really count that. Like, you got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the same team.
Yeah,
you're supposed to get deeper than the second round. And ever since that moment, he hasn't been out of the first round since. He got swept out of the first round his last year in Brooklyn. Then he got swept out of the first round with the Suns against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, he doesn't display any leadership. He's always he allows the outside noise to get to him. And I think that's where he doesn't fit in the Bay Area like that. Because initially, that's when he was getting his feelings on Twitter and stuff, was when he was with the Warriors. Mm-hmm. And a lot of fans were coming at him with that realness. And he is having a hard time dealing with it. Like, he was sliding in DMs instead of focusing on the game and trying to be a leader. Like, don't worry about that, man. You Kevin Durant. What you tripping off that for?
Yeah. Well,
but Butler was a good move. Butler was the right fit. Like you said, the proof's in the pudding. They've had about 10 games. They've won 90%. You can't argue with that. Draymond, I don't know. I think he could have been a reason. I don't think KD would ever admit to that. Even though he went on Draymond's podcast and all that.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to save face a little bit because the reality is the optics. It still made it seem and it looked like Draymond's antics forced him out of the. He wanted to leave because Draymond wasn't going to leave, and Draymond wasn't going to shut up, and Draymond wasn't going to stop checking people because he's the leader of the team. He's the vocal leader.
Yeah.
And look, if you don't like it, KD, okay, then step up and prove and beat it because his game would justify that he can get away with doing that. Draymond Green, you averaging 5 points. Shut up. What? I'm Kevin Durant, just like he said in that one interview. But I guess he didn't, he's not the guy to get, he's not willing to ruffle the feathers. He's not willing to have those tough conversations. He's more of the new generation player. And Butler's mindset is more old school 90s. That's what we need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
speaking of that, I'm gonna transition into our team. I'm trying to decide on how to move forward with this because I really want to move up to the next level with this whole basketball organization, but I don't want to leave behind anything that we built either. So I got this opportunity to start fresh in Thailand with this team. It's actually gonna be named the Warriors too. So we taking Dubnation worldwide, and man, it's a good opportunity, good vacation spot. But we want to build something out there and a pipeline from the Bay to overseas. So that's the next frontier, and the movie is pretty much done. I'm gonna put that out. I'm just trying to figure out distribution right now, but like you said, the new age players and dealing with today's players and all that. At some point, I don't want to be involved with in coaching or playing. I just like to play here and there again, but I don't know if that's going to even be possible out that way. But, what I'm thinking is, this is going to be a total rebuild. I didn't want to take another year off with the Kings, but that could be possible too. Wanted to continue that, but I want to get your input on what we did and what you think going forward, because you are a major part of it. What do you see?
I think the Thailand situation is a great opportunity. A lot of the guys that have been around should be able to get an opportunity to decide if that's something they want to do. Having somebody on the ground there is probably going to be, what the conundrum is. That, in theory, that's where the model of all this can really take off. Here, I don't know. I'm not seeing as much support from the league.
No, you're right.
I just don't. The league is not supporting any owner. The league is not supporting the players. There's too many teams. At least within the area, the region specifically. So guys are able to kind of purge from team to team, and that's just that model and structure. It doesn't have to be so wild west like that.
You hit it right on the head, man. It's just
a lot of players, there's no loyalty because of that. And so if the league had specific edicts in place where that stuff wasn't allowed, then, continuing it on here in the States would make more sense. But until they're willing to commit and support, that's why cats got to go outside and overseas to do it, So that's kind of where I'm at as far as both of those go. And I think a lot of the guys that, especially those that have shown professionalism and loyalty
Yeah.
for the 2 to 3 years.
I agree that they should get an opportunity. We would have to set some dates. The league is leaving it in our hands. Do we want to start recruiting in America, or just start from scratch out there and kind of build from year one and kind of just take it slow? Because
Starting from scratch out there is not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So I'm trying to figure that out, and it's a financial commitment, of course, for me. But I'm able to swing some things and make some things happen, but they got to make sense. I don't want to make mistakes like previously.
Yeah.
And that's all. I just kind of want to bounce that off you a little bit. We'll talk more offline with that because it's still new. But other than that, man, shoot, I'm ready to go ahead and keep the train rolling with everything. Some brand new music coming to go along with this movie. Some big names, some of the same names, but some new ones. I'll leak that info out later. Some big stuff though. Like we gotta have a session. I want you to help me pick some singles, man.
Okay.
And so until then, I'm gonna see y'all on the next episode. It's your boy Lorenzo King, aka Renz Julian, signing out to the next episode. I'm gonna holler at y'all next time.